Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your midweek update. What I have here is the original Celtic Cross. If you haven't watched the main weekly reading, I'll have that linked up down below. So make sure to go watch part 1 if you haven't already. This is going to be part 2. So this is the Celtic Cross that we did for part 1. And we're going to see what details want to come up for you for the middle of the week here, Cancer. We're also going to put kind of these anchor cards up here in your reading. So let's see what we have for you. In the area, in your first row here, you have this stag spirit. This card says, take the lead. We were kind of talking about this with this emperor in your first row. The emperor was your crossing energy in the Celtic cross. And I was getting like this anticipation energy here, which I feel is very important for you here, because you're making some sort of change in your every single time I say change in your destiny, I reject it here in your reading, Cancer. I just doesn't want to come out with that Wheel of Fortune. I don't think it is a change. I think what it is it's more like an important part of your destiny that you're recognizing, that you're seeing. You know, sometimes we were talking about a lot in the first part of the reading about experiences and how if we can just kind of look at things as an experience and just enjoy the experience, life can become more enjoyable. And I feel like that is part of your, quote unquote, destiny, life path, life purpose, whatever you want to call it. And it's like you're taking a lead on that here. Not only that, it's like if you notice this stag, he's got these big horns on his head. And, deer, any type of deer, really, as far as a totem animal is concerned, it's like those represent antenna. They represent tapping into your intuition, kind of like tapping into the ether or whatever you want to call it. And I feel like you are very tuned in, turned on, tapped in, as Esther Hicks says, or whatever she says with that, right? It's like you're very tapped into source energy at this time. And I feel like you're very kind of focused on what is going on here. With the Ten of Cups here, you have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is a card of resources. Right away, I do feel there could be a Capricorn coming in for you as far as love is concerned. So if you're looking for love, this could be the type of person that's coming in for you. It's kind of interesting because I feel if there is a Capricorn coming in for you, even though this is a Queen, by the way, I don't attach gender to my cards. I feel if there is a Capricorn coming in for you, it is almost like I do feel they are very kind of like focused on power or creating power in their life. I don't want that to sound as bad as it does here, Cancer. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think they're focused on kind of success or creating success in their life. It kind of reminds me of being in one of those situations where if you're entering into this person's life, it's almost like you're entering into their own little universe, which could be kind of exciting because, you could be getting into something with a person who's more of a creator, who kind of has a very creative side to them, but also this is someone who's very capable at manifesting things as well. So I think if you're attracting a person like this into your life, they are like, I literally feel like they're able to go like this, just like rip things down from the universe. They are able to create their own reality. For others, if you're not interested in love, this is you. You are the one that is like ripping things down here. And I don't mean that to sound as aggressive as it does. With the Emperor, Seven of Cups, again, anticipation energy. Seven of Cups is also going to be your crossing energy here in this reading. And it's kind of like thinking too much about all these what ifs. When we're in the anticipation mode, it's like, I don't know if you've ever been excited about getting something, like receiving something in your life. Maybe you have a specific goal, like you're buying a house or you're buying a car. It's like you're excited, you feel good, but at the same time, you're like, I got to pay taxes, and all this other stuff comes in, right? All this extra fluff, I like to call it, comes in that kind of lowers the vibration. I feel it's going to be very important for you to make sure to keep your vibe high and just say, like, what? It's okay to worry, right? We don't have to be perfect. We're not robots, right? And as I always say, so to me, of course we're going to worry. Of course we're going to have these concerns. It's like I think there are some spiritual teachers out there that are like, oh, you can't be angry. You can't have these feelings. It's like we have feelings for a reason. Feel your feelings, right? I always tell people, if you have to crap your pants, go for it. As long as you clean up afterwards, right? As long as you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about this, but it's like unless it happens, there's really nothing to worry about. I think as long as you're cleaning up your vibration, you're fine. I always tell people, if you're just like 51% more focused on the fact that you're about to accomplish something great, that's all that matters. You can worry the other 50% of the time. That's fine. With the Fool card here, you have the Five of Swords. Definitely a risk. The Fool came up in the area of your thoughts, Cancer, and the Fool kind of says you need to take a leap of faith. The Five of Swords is like worrying, kind of like worried. Do I take this leap of faith? Do I take this leap? Do I jump? What do I do? You have all these questions here, and the Five of Swords is, on a very simple level, to me, it is a card of conflict. It can represent separations and breakups and all this other stuff, but to me, it is a card of a risk. It is a card of needing to take a risk. This guy at the front of the card, he is actually the winner. He has won. And so in a lot of ways, I feel like by you taking the leap of faith, you are going to win. He also understands like the stages of battle. I'm going to go back to this camera because you could look at those as three different people, but you could look at those three people as the same person. The person in the back has their head in their hands. They're crying. They don't really know how to handle loss. The second person, their head is still held high. They're walking away from battle, so they've learned how to walk away from things, but they still have lost. The third guy at the front there, he's got all 5 swords there, but he's only holding on to 3. He kind of understands that, we could look at the 3 or the 5 swords as his reward or whatever you want to call it. And he understands that he can come back and get those other 2 swords. He understands that the battle isn't over. And I think you're starting to understand that in life. It's like the battle is never over, right? In your middle row here, you have this power card. I feel that for some of you, this is talking about a person who is coming into your life who is focused on power. I think some people take that as a bad word. It can definitely be a bad word, don't get me wrong. But this person, it's like a different type of way. I feel like they're focused on creation, this is lightning. And some people say that lightning created life in the first place. Lightning was kind of like that electrical spark that created life on Earth, right? And so I feel for a lot of you, that's what's going on here. Is this is power in the sense of energy, that is being directed in your life. And that's going to be very, very important for you. Is that I feel like there are these moments, these flashes of insight, just like with lightning. And those moments, those ideas that are popping into your head are going to be very important. They're going to lead to success. With the 5 of Pentacles, you have the 9 of Cups. I kind of get this energy of needing to believe in a miracle or needing to believe that something is capable for you. 5 of Pentacles was showing up in your foundation. It is a card of kind of needing to not call attention to your weaknesses. The 9 of Cups says you actually probably have more than enough. We see 2 cards of resourcefulness, kind of the Queen of Pentacles here, and then the 9 of Cups. Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness, but she's focused on the right thing. She isn't focused on this rabbit over here. Rabbits can represent fertility and abundance, but on this card here, they represent, can represent fear, anxiety, all those things. She's more focused on what she does have, not on what she doesn't have. That's going to be important for you this week, Cancer. With the Page of Swords, you have the Page of Pentacles. Literally, in the first part of your reading, I was saying how you're going from the Page of Swords to the Page of Pentacles. It's it was popping into my head as curiosity the right way. It's popping into my head right now. It's you're curious in the right way. You're curious about something in a way that is more abundant. It's more exciting. Page of Swords, I kind of like the Page of Swords for curiosity as well. But the Page of Pentacles is a little bit better, a little bit more enthusiastic, a little bit more excited, a little bit more willing to have the experience as well. And with the Page of Pentacles, you have the Page of Wands. Again, willing to go on the adventure. Page of Wands, a little bit more guided by his heart. He's a little bit more guided by his desires. He is more focused on joy. Is this going to make me feel good, right? And I feel you need to ask yourself that question. In pretty much all areas of your life, I feel like you need to say to yourself, is this going to make me feel good? Am I going to feel positive? Is it going to lift up my self-esteem? Is it going to make me feel confident? Or is it going to make me feel like this right here? It's there's 2 butterflies on this last card. I'll show you over here. One is in a cage. The other one has transformed and escaped. That's how I'm seeing this card. It's one is stuck. The other one has been set free. And I feel that this has to do with your beliefs here, Cancer. I feel like it's saying if you can escape your brain for 2 seconds, I feel like you'll set yourself free. If you stay stuck in the cage, I feel like it's going to keep you stuck in a cage, basically. So let's see here. Where this is going. I feel like you need to set yourself free. And again, focus on your heart. If someone asks you to do something, what does your heart say? Does it say, go do this? Is it going to lift your self-esteem or not? With the Ace of Cups, you have the Hierophant here. Sometimes I feel like the Hierophant can represent certain obligations. This is coming up in the area of the next few months. We all have obligations that we have to do. People always ask me all the time. They're like, you always say you have to think positively, but I hate my job and I can't get a new one. What do I do? And I always say you got to find like one, even if it's just one little thing, you got to focus on the positive thing. I just said this to Pisces as well. So it must be a water sign thing at this time, but there might be certain things. I don't think it's for you. I don't think it's job related. I think that there could be certain responsibilities that you have to deal with or certain things that you don't necessarily enjoy. And the Hierophant is, for whatever reason, I'm getting that word obligation popping into my head with this card because Hierophant is kind of like inside the box. It's like sometimes we have to work within certain rules, regulations, or parameters, right? And I feel like this card is saying with that Ace of Cups, like, how can you turn it into something? I don't know. You're going to have to, it's going to be different for all of you, and you're going to have to be the one to do it. With this, with the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Ace of Cups. That kind of makes sense because you have the Ace of Cups twice now, and the Wheel of Fortune is about like turning something around. Kind of like, it's kind of giving me temperance vibes. Temperance is turning water into wine, turning one thing into another. So I do feel you have the power to turn one thing into another. I feel like you have the power to turn a negative into a positive and vice versa here with this Wheel of Fortune energy. So I kind of like this. And with the Ace of Pentacles, damn, Cancer, the Empress. So clearly glow up vibes going on here for you. A lot of abundance, a lot of creative energy. I love that you have the Emperor and the Empress here in this reading. It's kind of like saying that you could be finding a divine counterpart. So again, I wouldn't really call this a love reading. I feel like there's love here. Could be a Capricorn coming in for you. Could be any sign, general reading. But I do feel like if you're finding love, it could be a person. Again, they're probably focused on power, not gonna lie. But I feel like it could be a very good person for you. You have marriage vibes here. Hierophant, Ace of Cups twice, Wheel of Fortune. There could be a significant change in your love life here with this reading. I also feel for others, this is clearly abundance. 10 of Cups to the Queen of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Page of Pentacles to the Ace of Pentacles, and the Emperor, the Empress, that was a mouthful. You are focused on creative energy. Remember, Emperor is like action. The Empress, she kind of operates more like energy's flowing to her. We see this waterfall in the background here of the Empress. The waterfall represents energy that just flows to her from an infinite source. She understands that she comes from infinite source intelligence, infinite source energy, whatever you want to call it. So she doesn't really like force things to happen, and she's more focused on creation. Like I said, I feel the most important thing here in your reading is that you're going to be getting these like flashes, like lightning, and they're probably going to come in the form of ideas or thoughts or whatever. And I feel like you need to pay attention to these thoughts and ideas. That's where your success is going to come from at this time, is through these like flashes of insight. And that's like what I get for you here, Cancer. So I would focus on that. I'm going to clarify your last two cards. I didn't do this for Pisces, but with the Six of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, which was your outcome, you have the Strength card. It's something you're going to have to focus on every single day. These flashes that I see going off in your head. I feel like you're getting really good ideas. That Fool which is showing up in the area of your thoughts, is like really saying you're going to have to take a risk and, take action on these ideas, these thoughts, and all this other stuff. There is, not to drag this out, but there is like an element of this right here of what I would call like unbelievable thinking or something like that is what's popping into my head. You have the Fool, the Five of Swords, Page of Pentacles to the Ace of Cups, and the Hierophant here. It's like there is a need for maybe some unrealistic thinking. Page of Swords, Page of Pentacles. Page of Swords, more logical, very grounded energy. But you have all these other pages as well. Page of Pentacles twice. And the Page of Wands. This is like a little bit more unbelievable thinking. I'm trying to come up with a good example. The only thing I could say is it's like, they're all the successful people in the world, like, Elon Musk and stuff like that. He wants to go to Mars. It's like an unbelievable idea. And he's just crazy enough that he might pull it off, right? So I feel for some of you, it's like some of these ideas that might be popping into your head, they might be unbelievable to you. They might be kind of like, you might be saying to yourself, there's no freaking way I'm going to be able to build $1 million business or write the next best-selling novel or something like that. But that's exactly what you could be doing here, Cancer. You're just going to have to take action. You're going to have to grab on to, it's like you're going to have to ride the lightning. You're going to have to grab on to a flash of lightning here and make it happen. Pretty damn powerful, Cancer. I like it. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time, Cancer. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.